machine. In the game, we're clean, we're so keen. Powers of the sky, chasing that dream. That dream, obelisk tide, we rock the scene. Capturing rhymes while taking what's unseen. On the arc, we're kings, we're supreme. Never seen the limits in a way we ever breathe. Time grows, very interesting. We will go clean the crown. We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting it down. Running, charging, calculate. The power we bring, cutting like a panther. Hear the battle sing. We're blazing through the ranks on the move and swing. With might in our hearts to take everything. Everything pillars rise as we claim our throne. For victory, we've already grown. On the field we fight, we overthrow the known. Nothing stop us, ain't no way we stand alone. Time grows, very interesting. We will go clean the crown. We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting it down. From the desert altar to the desert outpost, we're craving more. With every sweet stride, we will right. We're opening the door. So here's to the grind. We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting it down. Yeah, we're fighting it down. We're fighting it down. We're fighting it down. In the dark, creatures crawl into the underworld. Afterlife, an abyss protects you. In the light, goddess of the sun brings you life daily. Best it is her name. Come learn the ways of man. Become one with the sand. The fate is in your hands. It's time to fight. You will rise, not fall. Never lose hope on the ground. We are one for all. The truth will always conquer. Capture the earth, chasing your mark. Get like mystical formation. Turn on the walls, build the drugs. Let us claim this is war. In the dark, a river flows. The Nile is so expound. A morning star is seen in our sight. In the light, find your desert altar and your shrine. Look for peace, defeat the enemy. Run to the obelisk, defend this legacy. Fly to your destiny. It's time to fight. You will rise, not fall. Never lose hope on the ground. We are one for all. The truth will always conquer. Capture the earth, chasing your mark. Get like mystical formation. Turn on the wall.
Yo, 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 what's going on, governors? Welcome back to Osiris League Season 10. These are semi-final rounds. I am your host, Dirty Dan Gaming, flying solo this match, but be sure to check out Cortex and Brian Koo also streaming the 2359 versus 3672 match on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. Today here, we got OWR of Kingdom 2638 facing off against W257 of Kingdom 3257. Winner of this match will go on to face the winner of the JST versus E68 match in a best of 3 final for the Realm of Bastet Championship. OWR looking to make their way back into the finals and redeem their loss in the finals of Season 9. Meanwhile, W257 looks to improve on their best run in 3 seasons, having improved from the round of 16 in both Season 8 and Season 9. Both teams come into the semifinal with commanding victories in all of their playoff matches with an average score differential of 48,000 points. Can OWR play in favor of the bets and repeat a finals appearance, or will W257 continue their personal best Osiris League run and take the upset? No colleague besides me to ask, so I turn the question to you, chat. Who do you have winning today? Be sure to vote on the poll. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. I am not super familiar with W257. I will be completely transparent. OWR, I am quite familiar with. I actually have a pretty lengthy history with 2638, having fought them all the way back in KVK, in the KVK 4, when I was in 2581. And it's been really nice to see their kingdom growth, especially over the last few Osiris League seasons when it comes to how they've really developed their Osiris League team. And I think last season was a very defining moment for them, placing in the finals in the top 2. It is going to be really interesting just purely because of the score differentials. Like, a lot of these teams have kind of been walking into the semifinals, and it will be interesting to see. I think Cortex called it great last match that this is going to be, these semifinals are the matches where you're going to kind of unload your best plays, because if you make it into the finals, it's best of 3. It really kind of changes the dynamic of how you're playing an arc match. You can try different things. You can get a little bit more creative in a best of 3. You can try things that aren't normally in your playbook. So I think on a match like this, similar to what we saw in the previous match, you're going to really see these teams kind of come out and, swing for the fences here. So especially with Aqua kind of coming in as kind of like that new player on the block type deal. Couple things to look at for this match in terms of skill usages. Master strategy on the bar for W257, only appearing once for OWR, which was in their last match. I'm going to be curious to see if W257 has been playing with anything in terms of a master strategy play, whether that be in the opening minutes of the match or if that be on a mid rotation or something like that, a potential take back. So the skill usage is going to be a little interesting. And again, here, this is going to be the second match that we're looking at where no teams are going to be using stocking up. I could have bet all my money on the fact that teams were going to start using stocking up a little bit more, especially from Grand Prix, but I think it might be a little bit skewed when it comes to Grand Prix play, because you can farm with the best gear, and it is like something that you really need to practice. Like, you need to hone in on using stocking up. I think it adds a little bit more to your voice channels than probably most teams would like, and I think energetic is just a little bit more of a, I don't want to call it safe play, but it's a little bit of like, you can kind of turn your brain off, and when the cooldown is ready, you kind of go in and pop in and use it. But am still quite surprised to see that not a lot of teams utilizing the stocking up. Another skill that's interesting to see here on both of their skill bars I'm looking is Total Vision making an appearance for OWR as well as W257 in at least one of their matches. So a 4-point skill, which kind of takes not the cheapest skill that you want to use, but it definitely has its moments, especially when you want to get a little bit better vision of the field. So I think our match is ready, so let's jump into the match. So we're going to have OWR in the top in blue. Meanwhile, W257 down in the bottom in red. We do have our redeem code up on the match here, guys, so be sure to swipe that redeem code and get your goodies. And actually, I'm seeing some familiar faces here from this W257 team. I can't remember the kingdom that I went to migrate to, but this Chrissy Prime as well as this player here, they actually migrated into our kingdom. This was like right before I was in 1093. I'm totally drawing a blank on what kingdom it was. It was the Viet Kingdom that had peanut in it, if anyone knows. But these are a couple of really tuned in Osiris League players. So I think we should have a pretty good match on our hands here. Again, W257 looking to continue on their personal best run. Last 2 seasons ending up in the top 16. Meanwhile, OWR making an appearance in the finals last season. So far, we got 71%, 69% of chat thinking that OWR is going to take the dub here. And it would be nice to see these powers. I wonder if there's, yeah, I don't know if there's a way to see. I realized through clicking on that in the last matches, it nice to see the powers a little bit there, but I think we're going to have some pretty good accounts on each side. I don't think we're going to see much of an account difference in this match. Should be relatively even, as we have 40 seconds about until the gates open. And it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams are going to work the Altars of Anubis. We saw in the last match, kind of in that backup match that Cortex and I went to for the Realm of Sobek teams, where one team had 5 Altar of Anubis captures, and that's negating additional 15% points that your opponent can take if your opponent isn't honoring Altar of Anubis. So really going to be interesting to see the rotations here on these teams and how these Altars of Anubis are really going to start to kind of advance in gameplay. 5 seconds until the gates open, and our match is officially underway. OWR versus W257. Chat, do keep me honest. I apologize last match on missing the ob play in the beer match, but I could have sworn that they were going to be able to take care of it, because it was simply a rally with a couple reinforcements. In my personal opinion, it was something that should have been swarmed down. I will definitely do a better job this time around, shaking off a little bit of the rust, getting out of Osiris League mode from playing on the 93X team to going into caster mode. So hopefully we have a little bit of a smoother run here. See sentries being placed for W257, kind of that standard Chinese server approach of placing the sentries. OWR placing one a little bit farther back. Interesting positioning there. I will say, through my Osiris League run this past season, that we did practice against OWR a fair bit. They're a really sound team. They kind of just do all the right things. They have really good rotations. They don't do anything super flashy. They're just a really sound ARC team and kind of know what to do, where to be, and how to do it. So we do have to keep an eye out on any sneaky business that is going to happen here. I'm a little interested in this sentry here. Interesting. It's interesting because the opening sentry here makes sense, or the opening sentries here or here, because you want to get a gauge of what marches are going to be going to your Desert Altar or Shrine of Life, if they're going to overpower one side. Maybe this is a sentry I mean, it gets the outpost rallies, but you already know that those are going. I mean, maybe looking for a trail of troops that are going to be going up the middle for a potential sneaky tactics play. I'm not sure. They're probably just erring on the side of caution. OWR is with the little bit more of a defensive sentry, I would call that. 68% of voters thinking that OWR is going to win, while only 32% for W257. And we see the first little bit of engages here. We see a little bit of a scatter here on the CCs from W257. This is a very nice play that I'm seeing here from the player Christy Prime. Let's see if we can maybe potentially sniff that out a little bit more. Not engaging too much in it now. So you can see here that the Joan just tapped the QSH. Just is a little bit more. Oh, there is stocking up on the play. So W257 hiding a play here, or hiding a skill. You saw that Joan there poking at these QSHs. That's really good for your initial engage, as it is going to negate one of QSH's skills, which I believe prevents him from doing that big burst AoE. I think it sticks to more of a single target for about 60 seconds or so. Murder Ball starting to engage on the top side. OWR trying to defend their home desert altar here. Aqua team, most of them came from 3065. Okay, good intel, good intel. 2975 players somewhere in the bunch there as well. No sad faces yet. There's the first couple coming out for OWR in the blue. It's starting to look pretty red here. Let's see what's going on the outside. Is OWR going to go for a little bit more of a flip? No funny business on Obelisk yet, unless I'm blind. Chat, please let me know. And it does look like OWR is going to win that top side engage. Meanwhile, their bottom side engage is probably going to lose here. Altars are unlocked. OWR is able to sneak the David in. Very quick fingers there. Sun Sailor coming in from OWR. I believe we saw them play to this last season as well. Let's see if they can run up some CCs to get into this desert altar. Let's see if we can find that Sun Sailor there. Sun Sailor, Sun Sailor, Sun Sailor, Sun Sailor here in the beginning, right by their gate. Chat, Sun Sailor. Am I blind? Oh, over here on the outside lane. Yes, I believe this is something that we saw from OWR last season. So a little bit of a heavier commit on the outside to take the initial capture on the enemy sky altar, and then pushing through a Sun Sailor on the same side to try and push through those reinforcements. Let's see if the play is going to pay off, because 5 points in the beginning of the match is definitely no small task. It looks like OWR is going to get a pretty nice defense set up here. No marches coming through on the Sun Sailor though just yet. Trying to march in a Gorgo garrison coming in. Bottom side looks like home structures are stable. OWR is going to want to try and get their home desert altar back as soon as possible, but swapping altars is totally fine here if they can get some value out of the Sun Sailor, which they need to. Like, you need to get value out of the Sun Sailor as soon as possible. Garrison swap is in. Gorgo is now the garrison lead. The OWR's got to get some reinforcements in here. Ooh, the Gorgo's hanging on. They are starting to get some marches in here. We can see players starting to swarm through this Sun Sailor play here. They have gotten back their home desert altar. So play is now starting to pay off a little bit. You got to ask the question. I mean, if they're able to hold this for a reasonable amount of time, I think it obviously pays off. But you got to ask the question: is 5 points worth first occupation and the 750 points that come with it? We can see the QSH rally coming in from W257. Desert Storm in response from W257, trying to chip away those Sunsailor troops. They are able to flip back their Sky Altar. Very nice play here, I think, from W257 to make that call on their Desert Storm, clear out those marches. As they are going to settle in a little bit there. And now it's starting to get into their normal rotations. 4 minutes until Arc spawns. You can see W257 potentially lining up for a Master Strategist or a Sneaky Tactics play on the side of the mountain there. OWR with a nice attack on the home desert altar of W257 and able to flip it. Meanwhile, W257 does own the home sky altar and first occupation point still up for grabs on the home sky altar of OWR. I think that's a very good response by W257 to opt for the Desert Storm. Just kind of playing it safe. You want to clear those troops out. Get a hold of your Sky Altar. Make sure that you can kind of stay a little bit in rhythm for your mid-arc rotations. 5 points to 3, which is why I think that it is a relatively good trade-off here if they are able to secure those first occupation points. W257 with a good attack here, which is going to go nowhere on the Desert Altar of OWR. Still a lot of troops coming through this Sunsailor here. A lot of pressure from this top side from OWR. This is a nice play because it is going to negate, I think, the mid rotations from W257 from this side. I think if you're W257, you have to honor the play, and I think you have to stay home a little bit to defend this Sky Altar, especially with so many troops pouring through. But in the same token, a lot of those troops, or if not all of them that are coming through, those are your mid-rotation players that are supposed to be coming from starting zone. So OWR here is kind of opting to sack Arc, which is going to spawn in 2 minutes. OWR is nowhere to be found. They do have the home desert altar here. I don't remember if this is first occupation points or not. 3 altars in hand, about to be 4. Can this lead into a no mark play? There's the 4th altar. Expect the no mark coming in soon, or if they want to get cheeky, they're going to hold, and they're feeling brash. They want to hold on to those points, and they want to go for an arc. We could be smelling a Master Strategist play here potentially. 1.5 minutes until Arc spawns, and you can see this little contingent of W257 players. We were talking about this a little bit in the last matches. You always want to be having productive minutes, and by W257 sitting in the middle there, those are not productive minutes for those marches, especially if OWR has something sneaky up their sleeve to cap this arc. Pretty good attack here on the Shrine of War. OWR trying to make this map as blue as possible. 590 points per minute for OWR, 260 points per minute for W257. Arc spawning in just about 30 seconds. Good defense setup here for OWR. Good defense and a good retake attempt here as well from W257. Arc is spawning in 20 seconds. OWR is still nowhere to be found. This might hurt W257 here if these troops most likely, and these troops most likely came from this bottom side because the top side was not going to have the resources available to get their top side troops over to this mid rotation. This contingent of players is definitely from bottom side, and this is why OWR is going to be able to hold on to this Desert Altar. When that Sun Sailor play works, you can see the effect that it has and the pressure that it's putting on the rest of the map. They did do this last season. It is a play that they have up their sleeve and that they are really well accustomed to performing. Arc has spawned with in hand for W257, I should say. As they're now desperately trying to rotate back to get this Desert Altar, which OWR is holding on to for a very long time. I'm surprised no mark from OWR. 740 points per minute for OWR. With no mark being played here. Let's look for a little grouping of OWR players. I'm curious if a master strategy play is going to come to fruition. I don't think so. Oh, 5 bars without energetic. Good call, good call. I saw a red march out over here for the Sun Sailor. Huh, no energetic, no stocking up for OWR. Interesting. So if you're, there's the stocking up. There's the stocking up. Ooh, are they gonna, oh my lordy. Are they gonna have enough juice? Surely they don't. Surely you just know, Mark. Man, this is, you would think that this Desert Altar would be the home altar of OWR with how long they've been holding it. It's 18 minutes into the match, and I think they've held it for pretty much that entire time. W257 finally able to take back their Desert Altar with the no mark in play, so they are going to get that occupation back just a little bit faster. Pretty good assault going here on the Sky Altar of OWR. On the bottom side, 2 minutes until Altars of Anubis open. That is a very interesting routing for a Shrine Rally. I don't think I've ever seen a Shrine Rally walk around the outside of the Sky Altar. Good reinforcing from OWR here. Let's see if W257 can get some additional marches here on the swarm support. OWR doing a really good job of keeping this altar topped up, rotating marches in. Healthy marches coming in for the swarm now, though, but OWR coming in with a nice heap of reinforcement marches that need to get into this altar, otherwise they're going to lose it. No mark in play for W257 right now, too. Definitely something that they don't want to lose at the moment. And that's a very good hold by OWR. That is a master class hold from OWR on their home Sky Altar. As we flip back up to the top side, Altars of Anubis are going to be open. Looks like W257 has the positional advantage here on the altar, which you can pretty much consider OWR's home altar, being in that it's a little bit closer. It's much closer, actually, much closer to their cities and that refresh time. It's going to be pretty interesting here to see how W257 is going to play this one. 15 seconds until altars open. Group number probably about even, maybe a little bit more for W257. And I think if you're W257 here, I think you just wait. I think you just wait for them to come into you, because you are kind of dictating the tempo of that a little bit here. It is also interesting too, because like, if you just wipe your troops here, right, or even if you kill them, you need to like do a massive chunk to them, because they're going to be able to come back quick. As we see a couple marches die from W257 side already. There's a chunk from OWR's end. Still some marches coming in for W257. Both altars of Anubis in progress right now. Dust up for OWR during the altar fights. That is huge. Excellent skill usage on the side of OWR so far. It looks like W257 is going to win this initial engage. They're trying to race marches back now, because again, OWR is going to have the refresh advantage. If we take a look on the bottom side, W257 is pretty much full on going for the Anubis. OWR looking to have the cheeky snipe play, just kind of dancing around the altar here, the Herald. Down to 15%. Now you can see them starting to march in, trying to get the last touch snipe. Down to 3%, and boost goes to W257. Point percentage boost for W257 now. You can see a huge trail of lines racing for that Anubis, trying to negate OWR of those extra 15% bonus points that they can be getting. Shrine of Life in hand for W257. Bottom side, Desert Altar has fallen to OWR yet again. Points per minute in favor of W257, not by much, 563 to 510. W257 does have Arc in hand, so we're looking at a true score of about 800 point difference on true score after the Arc is cashed. Very good defensive hold here from OWR. Very good. This is the W257 garrison. OWR is proving to be extremely good at reinforcing. W257 is not going to want to lose these buildings very often, considering of how well OWR can reinforce. You can see the fresh marches coming in for W257, trying to clear out OWR in front of the Desert Altar. The Scipio A rally about to hit. OWR turning, rage dumping onto the rally, trying to get that down as soon as possible. And this altar is going to start generating points yet again for OWR. Stocking up, coming in for W257. Look like some decent reinforcement marches coming in for OWR, but I think W257 is going to be able to get this back. No mark going in for OWR just at the perfect time. Is that the buff that they need to hold this altar just a little bit more until some more reinforcements can come? They are quite a ways away. I think this altar is going to flip back for W257. It is not going down easy, that is for sure. One reinforcement able to sneak in there. Swarm getting pretty low. There you go, the W257 able to flip it back, but no mark in play. 3 altars in hand for OWR, 728 points per minute for OWR, 362 points per minute for W257. The altar of Anubis fight just ended. W257 snipes the Anubis altar of OWR, negating them of that extra 50% points, and that is actually huge, especially considering the fact that OWR has no mark on right now. Their points per minute would have like skyrocketed if they were to win that Anubis. But you can see that all of the effort that they put into taking the Anubis kind of cost them this sky altar, so they are going to have to race back here now and try and flip this thing back as soon as possible. 3 altars in hand for OWR at the moment. No mark still on. You can see the QSH rally coming in for W257. Not a lot of damage from this rally that goes on to the garrison, but man, does this rally absolutely shred the open field. Really big wave of OWR troops coming in here from this back end. And I think W257 might be kicking themselves a little bit for committing so much for that Anubis. I mean, obviously I don't know how the math works out on the fly, but I think you might want to hold on to the altar. Well, let's see. Arc has been cashed by W257. 5 minutes until Arc spawns. We were discussing that a little in the last set of matches that we were casting. I don't know how they rework it, but yeah, doing like 1% damage and getting the one tap is like definitely feels a little frustrating. Never happened to me personally, but I can imagine how frustrating that can be if you put in so much time and effort to gain control and tempo in the altar and you just get sniped on a one tap. Pretty good attack here for W257. Ethelfled in garrison. I don't know if that's a bug or not, but definitely something that OWR is going to want to change. It was not a bug, in fact, and lost roughly about an 1/8 of health there from that mistake. 3.5 minutes until Arc spawns. Rally's coming in, connecting. I think this attack is going to go nowhere. Swarm support is pretty much down. Healthy marches for OWR all over the place. As you can even see, a very nice, like, this is like peak, like just knowing to like just get off the rally, go refresh your troops, get ready for the next wave of attacks. Another mistake for W257 in the garrison game with the Belisarius Prime, switching it to the Attila. W257 sending their bottom side to mid rotations, and it looks like OWR is going to be making an appearance in this mid fight, unlike the first, gathering up on the peaks of the mountains, staying out of vision of the sentries, although this side is going to be spotted out. And then the top side here for W257 going to be on a late rotation from having to invest so many resources into defending that altar. You see both teams gathering up at the peaks of those mountains there. W257 saying, hey, our altar is good, let's go mid. And it does look like the building game is cooling off a little bit here now as both teams are now starting to rotate to mid. We can see the double C out again, gonna start looking for those QSHs to start tapping. Put OWR at the disadvantage going into these mid fights. They did get a little bit of a point boost from cashing in the Ark of Osiris. I think they may have maximized that as a whole, right? Or they just got one Anubis worth, I think. Oh, it is max. There you go. There you go. So maybe that's what they were going for as well. Maybe that's something that they were kind of playing into a little bit more. So thinking that, hey, we want those maximized points. OWR with dust up. And this attack actually looks pretty good. W257 cannot lose this altar right now. They're going to lose this altar. They're 100% maybe going to lose the altar. Where it looked like things were going to quiet down. Yeah, they are still sending a pretty decent wave of troops to those altars. Harass W257 and honestly the planners of W257. OWR looking like a delay positioning here. Usually when teams position up on the sides, they're going to go for a delay. We can see OWR starting to close in now here a little bit. I will say this is a decent tactic. This is, oh, there's a oh, good master strategy. You gotta go back. You gotta go back. Oh my goodness. Ooh, did he get out? Did it get out? Did it get out? Did it get out? Oh, it dropped. Oh, those plays are so hard to time. A wasted master strategist. From W257, dust up to clean out the field. Good play there. I do think I think that was the correct play. I think you do try to master strategist that thing out of there. There was a bad engage down here. One thing that I was going to bring up is that when you have these teams kind of come in on the sides, it is going to scatter your murder ball a little bit and your engages are going to become sloppy. You're going to end up rage loading somewhere for the enemy team. The last thing that you want on these mid engages is for your players to start trickling into a focal point. And I think W257 did the right thing there by trying to master strategist the arc out of there, as well as all the other players, to avoid the mess that was going to be for the open field engage. That is true. Master strategist can only TP 30 marches. It's a super hard play to pull off. You have to keep your march numbers in mind. You have to use master strategist at the right time. You have to get your arc carrier into the circle at the right time so he doesn't drop it like they did. Like, it's a super hard play to pull off. But I do think that was the right play nonetheless, because I think with the way that OWR was engaging, I think it was going to cause a little bit too much chaos for W257. I think they would have lost the field eventually anyway. 590 points per minute for OWR, 130 points per minute for W257. W257 down now about 4,400 points. 7,900 points if you count in this arc score. Anubis bottom. 2 minutes. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Those Anubis fights come up really quick. When you're playing in these matches, you don't realize how fast the Anubises actually do pop up. Trying to find a nice little area of action. We'll look at this push here from OWR. Rhine attack going here. Some marches splitting off to go for a Sky Altar attack. Not well timed here. There is a rally coming in. OWR is going to sniff out this rally for sure. OWR is an extremely sound team. Extreme from someone who practiced against them a lot this season. I don't want to say a lot, a fair bit this season. They are super sound in what they do. They really kind of like the makings of like a good night of the beginnings of a good 93T team is one that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and OWR is really starting to cement that as part of their play style. 13 seconds until Altar of Anubis opens up here. This is the home side for W257. Although a pretty good contingent of marches for OWR starting to clear out those marches. Altar has spawned. Sky Altar attack sniffed out from W257. 3 minutes or so on the top side Altar of Anubis, and a little bit of just a scatter. This is, and typically what I experienced too when altars started to spawn, things got a little chaotic. You would have kind of marches all over the place and not these like really big focal points until everyone converges on the altars of Anubis. Healthy marches, not so healthy marches coming in for OWR. There's some healthy marches starting to come in now. W257 just going in straight for the engage. Just a reminder, they are not going to be able to see what marches are coming in here. A little bit of a different approach here, pulling off the Anubis to go after the open field marches of OWR. I think is a pretty good call. Home structures seem to be in hand and safe as of now. A couple outpost flips here and there. Shrine is starting to go back into favor for OWR. And W257 does a good job of clearing out those OWR marches, so it looks like they should get this bottom side Anubis. Looks like about a player or so coming back in now. Let's go ahead and look at the top side, see how things are shaking out here. W257 doesn't look to be too interested in sending this time. OWR putting up a nice position of troops here to try and sniff anything out. And attack going on the OWR home desert altar. but an attack to no avail. OWR with a good defense. Time warp for OWR into no mark. This was a pretty decent attack here. Those marches that were postured up for the Anubis turned and went onto the altar for the no mark play. Good reinforcing there from the W257 player. Now going with stocking up W257 is. Really good defense here from W257. And yeah, the last Anubis is super important. Those 15% points per minute when all your provisions, when all your last provisions are starting to come in. But also too, your skills coming off cooldown is really big. Good hold there from W257. They are going to need to start getting some flips here. They're going to need to start to get some flips and some significant holds. And you can see that this bottom altar of Anubis. Oh, okay. I thought it went uncontested. So W257 does get their bottom altar of Anubis. Good attack here coming for OWR. $18 minutes left in the match. 6 minutes until Arc needs to be cashed. You got to think with the lead, OWR is going to do everything they can to hold on to that Arc. No mark being popped by W257. Staggering those no marks just a little bit. And now with the time that's left in this match, they need to make some of these flips happen. They also cannot lose this desert altar right now. That is not good for W257. That no mark is coming off a little bit towards the tail end here. But it still is going to be a minute cap time for OWR for that thing to start generating points for them. W257 is also going to lose. Oh, there was one last second reinforcement that got in there. Very nice save. Very, very nice save from W257. Losing that altar, though, is huge. They need to start getting some splits here. Or some flips, I should say. Anubis counts. 3 Anubis for W257, 1 for OWR. W257 got the first 2. Second spawns, they split 1 apiece. Oh, and there's the flip that we were talking about. This is big. This is big for a couple reasons, because number one, they need to like get the point swings going back in their favor a little bit. But it should also deter a player or two or a march or two from staying on that inside lane. And now they have to go in and get their own Sky Altar back. So far, we have a 5K difference, but that 5K difference is really going to be like an 8,500 point difference. If W257 is able to capture the next arc, that would cut the lead to 4K. Or the deficit to 4K, I should say. Provisions have been coming in due to stocking up. So we're not going to see a huge chunk of points being cashed here. The win condition for W257 right now is flipping altars and holding them. It has to be. It's the only way that the math is going to work out. Maybe with the 15% point boost from the Anubis, with the provisions at the end, with the arc score, maybe. They are doing exactly that. 3 altars in hand for W257, doing a good job holding on to this enemy sky altar. Eleanor, probably not what you want to see here. That's probably a backup garrison. They're going to want to get maybe a Hera or a David in here. Eleanor's is just tending to be a little bit squishier nowadays with the new meta of things. Unless you got a really nice Wedge 2.0 set on that thing. I mean, maybe. Good holds. This is exactly what W257 needs to be doing right now. This altar is going to flip back though. $884 points per minute for W257, 410 points per minute for OWR. They can just keep this altar for another minute or two. Good March swap there, getting in with the CC. 1 CC in. Ooh, 2 CC in, 3 CC in. Ethelfled in, that's 4 reinforcements. Ethelfled going in. Oh, Belly, don't stop. 4 with the Ethelfled. 5 with the Belly. Every point matters for W257. Each reinforcement matters. Those marches actually didn't get in. They started circling. Or maybe they came out to march swap. I think those marches got in. There's no way that this would have kept going, actually. Oh, put the ZL in. Who cares? Oh, Garrison died. Really good hold there from W257. That was a good minute or two hold. Not looking too good on their home desert altar, though. Allocating a lot of those resources to go and keep that sky altar up. Arc has been cached. We see our true score now. 8,300 point differential stocking up coming in for W257. This is going to be a really interesting timing of things too. Arc is going to spawn while one of the Anubises is ongoing, and 2 seconds before another Anubis spawns. Let's go ahead and see which ones. So the Anubis that is going to spawn as the Arc spawns is technically quote-unquote OWR's Anubis. Meanwhile, W257 will have their quote-unquote Anubis spawning before the Arc spawns, which is a good sign for them to stay in this. What is not a good sign for them is this desert altar that's being held by OWR with the second wave of troops coming behind, and this thing is going to be a little difficult to get back, along with a rotation of marches coming from the sky altar. $45 seconds until the altar starts generating points for OWR. These marches just running into the blender. Even though these are low marches, they're still going to chunk them down a little bit, weaken them up, soften them for that retake. You can see the CCs getting 1, 2, 3 marches ready for a reinforce. Back up. 4 CCs ready to reinforce. Attila rally is on the altar. It's going to start generating points now for OWR. Obelisk take for W257 here. A little late in the game for an Obelisk take to matter though. See those reinforcement marches starting to come in for OWR. All 4 of those get in? That's impressive. Altar should flip though. Just a little bit too much juice for OWR. Nothing going on the outside lane here. 4 minutes until Anubis spawns. Looks like a pretty good attack on both ends here on the top side. Good attack forming for W257. Good attack here for OWR on the Sky Altar of W257. But it does look like W257 is going to be able to defend this attack. Go ahead and take a look at the Desert Altar attack for W257. Looking pretty even here. Rally coming in. OWR kind of blew up that murder ball. Now jumping onto the rally, trying to nuke that thing down. 4.5 minutes until arc spawns. Good defense from W257 on the outside. Good defense from OWR on the inside. Take a look at the full map view. We can see the provisioners in full effect here. 570 points per minute for OWR, 440 points per minute for W257. Almost a 10k point lead right now. Provisions all about even. You can see that difference in the occupation score. And I will say, I mean, like W257, like they were kind of playing to what they wanted to do. They got the first arc. OWR kind of sacked first arc, you can call it, because of their Sun Sailor play. And W257 was going to expend their skill bar for the middle on the second arc spawn. So if you look at the score, right, occupation, yeah, W257 probably knew that they were going to be down on occupation score and wanted to score those arcs. Just unlucky and unfortunate that they couldn't get that master strategy play to TP the arc away. Altar of Anubis on bottom side in 1.5 minutes. Arc spawning in just under 3 minutes. Good defensive posture here from OWR. And I think they're actually getting rather aggressive here on this Anubis. I think they know that win condition for W257 right now is the Anubis. These poor W257 marches are about to run into a blender here. Take away the win conditions. Identify and take them away. Very, very good job from OWR. Look, and W257 doesn't know what to do. Desert Storm in the middle, trying to chip down some of those marches. Yeah, look how heavy even OWR is going over here on the top. They're going much heavier than they, not much heavier, but they are going heavier than what they did for the first Anubis. It's a good call out from those lane leaders. And just a sad face train, and I think that play is gonna do it for OWR, as they are now gonna get to take a victory lap around the Arbiter of Anubis. Ark's gonna spawn in 40 seconds. Desert Altar in hand here for W257. Do they have the points to pop a no mark is the question. Master strategy yet again. On this bottom side. Oh, master strategy into the Anubis. W257 saying, hey, we know this is our win condition. You are not going to take it away from us that easily. Master strategist onto the realm of Anubis. Or Arbiter of Anubis. All out mayhem on this bottom side. Ark has spawned. Anubis down to 25% health. W257 has taken the Ark. Tap going to W257. Master Strategist pays off. They do have the Ark relatively secure here. Desert Storm coming in from W257 again on the top side. Anubis. Trying to race to get those points. I don't know if it's going to be enough time, but it is a good play to take that Desert Storm and to then use it on the OWR marches. Can they get a CC in there? Can they get something to one-tap it? They've got an altar again. 2 altars in hand. A flip on the top side. It doesn't look like they're going to be... Ooh, an OWR with a Master Strategy. Master Strategy onto the Ark. OWR 2 can play that game. W257 looking composed, not panicking. Keep protecting the Ark carrier. That's still your win condition. I don't know if the math works out, even though they have the Anubis. That's a hefty skill bar for OWR. Master strategy, no mark, dust up. Dust up again from OWR. This Nevsky is running for his life right now. My gosh. I think he's gonna cap it. 2-1. They do indeed cap it. It is not going to be enough. W257 desperately needed that second Ark. And even with 3,500 points, I mean, we're looking at 38-3 for W257, which would still be down 2k points to OWR. The building dominance just a little bit too much. This altar in the beginning just absolutely decimated W257. I mean, not to mention this altar, but this is the altar that caused the pressure on this altar. Really, really well played match from both sides here. Good match. OWR looking primed going into the finals. And one has to ask, if they have this nice Sunsailor play in their pocket, do they lead with that or do they save that for the second match? it seems like a play that works so well. Something that they've been working on for almost a year. And I think last year when they implemented it, it wasn't as refined as it is now. But man, we were able to see what kind of an effect that opening Sunsailor play can have. It goes onto one altar, but the pressure spreads out throughout the map. It's really fascinating. So we can see there are some hefty provisions coming. Wow, oh my gosh, 7,400 provisions, 6,900 provisions for W257. Some really hefty provisions coming in there. And there you have it, GG's. OWR in Kingdom 2638, moving on to the finals for a second consecutive year. Do we know who they're fighting, chat? They're fighting the winner of JST and E68. Whoever they're fighting there, get ready, because that is some provision score that you're going to have to put up with. Very, very well deserved to both, to OWR, and great match to both teams. OWR advancing to the finals. With that, y'all, I'm Dirty Dan, your host for the evening. Brian and Cortex are on the other side on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. All of our links to our channels are down below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. And we'll catch you next week for the finals. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Later. Peace.